Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Matsuricon 2013 with Mr. Travis Willingham. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. How about yourself?
I'm awesome. And the last time we got to speak with you as a company was at Anime Central 2012. You've been keeping really busy. How have things been going for you in this past year?
Very good. It's actually been our busiest year of production between my wife, Laura Bailey, and I. We've been real busy with not only just anime, video game titles, a lot of original animation, as well as some straight-to-DVD productions that we're very excited about.
Awesome, awesome. And now, how are you enjoying your time here at Matsuricon and here in Ohio as well?
It's great. This is our second time to Ohio. I think we went to ColossalCon like 3 or 4 years ago, but this is our first time at Matsuricon. Having a blast. They took us out for dinner the first night. It was the Brazilian, they just like cut all the meat off the little swords. What are they called? Skewers? Swords?
No, they actually use swords.
Okay, yeah, there were swords, and I think I ate the equivalent of like 4 small woodland animals. It was pretty good. I had to skip dinner the next night because I was so satiated. But it's been great. It's been really great.
Awesome. And tell us about your work on your awesome web series Shelf Life, which I am a fan of and enjoy watching all of you up there going, is that really that kid, and is that what he really does?
Right. It's insane. The geniuses behind the show, obviously, are Tara Platt and Yuri Lowenthal. It comes from their zany, insane minds, and Yuri and Tara just said that when they were writing Hero Man that I was the first person that popped in their head. I don't know if that's an insult or if I should thank them, but it's always fun when we get to do it. I think we finished our 4th season. A 5th season is being mulled over, so we're anxiously awaiting to see what comes out of their kind of their brain bank to see what madness will follow. But it's been a lot of fun, and season 4 is now available on DVD, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
And now, how about your time working in the game industry and working on the game The Last of Us, which that was a fantastic. I played that game with my friend on the on Survivor mode. Whoa, was that hard?
So is Survivor the hardest?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just played it on normal, and it was still really tough. In my opinion, and Troy Baker's my best friend in the whole world, and I try not to, blow too much sunshine up his butt. I was like, listen, man, I got to tell you, like Red Dead Redemption was my favorite game previous to this, and then Last of Us just kind of blew it out of the water. The level of dramatic intensity, the story of the content, the performances by the actors, and the way that they're able to utilize all the technology translating the performances onto the game is really, really cutting edge. So I think it's set a tone for all games going forward. And for us, it's really exciting because Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, Yuri Lowenthal, Liam O'Brien, Sam Riegel, all those guys, Matthew Mercer, who have these theater backgrounds and are used to doing performances that don't just involve a microphone, but where we're actually able to use our body. Yeah. We're stoked because we get to work on video games now. Like Troy and I and Laura are all doing Infamous Second Son. We were able to do the Halo 4 series, and we're able to go in there. I get to play a Spartan. They give you a gun, you run around, you shoot things, people die. You're doing judo rolls and all this stuff, and it's a trip because you actually get to do that stuff. And sometimes in the studios, they'll have a quick time replay of what's going on, while it's doing it. So you'll move. You're doing the snake or the caramba or whatever, and you can see the character doing it in real time. So being able to do performance capture, I think, is something that's going to become a standard in video games, and for us, it's really, really exciting.
I actually look really forward to all of that coming out.
Especially what did I call it? The caramba? What would you call it? The Macarena. Dun, 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 dun. We won't do that. Okay.
Now, do you have any inspirations that influenced you in the world of acting?
Yeah, Jack Nicholson is my favorite actor. He's just insane. I love how carefree he is, and I've heard that apparently he never does a take the same way twice. So even if there are 3 takes, all 3 of them are going to be different performances. I love the idea of that. And for me, I had a 5th and 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Trigger Butler, who was an English teacher, and she realized that she had a very energetic ADHD kid that just needed a creative outlet, and she kind of threw me in the way of plays and theater and stuff like that, and that's what led to all this madness from the 6th grade.
All right.
Yeah.
And how is it to work alongside your wife, who wouldn't change her last name on some projects?
No, on all projects. She is literally keeping her last name Bailey because of the unions, and she's like, honey, it's just because, that's my stage name, and people will get confused, and I'm like, or it'll be more awesome because you'll be Laura Willingham. She's like, no, I don't think so. But she's told me that when we procreate and have a child, that she will then change her name over so the child doesn't go, why is mommy's last name different from daddy's? So it's going to happen, she says. I'm not optimistic, but I give her crap all the time.
And how great was it to work on Marvel projects and get to play the Hulk?
Fantastic. The first time was in like 2008, 2009, working on Marvel Superhero Squad show, which was more of a kid's show. You know, it was great playing the Hulk and the Human Torch, and the Hulk was kind of stupid. And now we've been able to stay under that Marvel umbrella, which we are so thankful for, because we're huge comic book nerds. Yeah. But now I'm playing Thor on Marvel's Avengers Assemble, which is on Sunday mornings, Disney XD, and Troy Baker is playing Hawkeye. Laura, my wife, is Black Widow, so we're like keeping it all in the family. And the cast is phenomenal because we've got people that have come from that anime background and are now doing original animation. Liam O'Brien, who's been in Bleach, Naruto, is playing Red Skull. Roger Craig Smith, who's also plays Sonic, is now Captain America. I mean, it's just fantastic. You know, Fred Tatasciore works on a ton of anime as well, and if he of course will always be the true original Hulk because nobody sounds like Fred Tatasciore. When he yells, everybody in the room kind of, you have to like hold on to your bowels for a second. But it's fantastic, and we love working on those projects. It's been great because Avengers Assemble is fantastic. Ultimate Spider-Man, we get to cross over with that show. It's in its 3rd season. They also have a new show called Hulk and the Agents of Smash, which is in its 1st. And since Disney purchased Marvel, we had this fantastic 1-hour special called, Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel, where we got to do a crossover episode with Phineas and Ferb and like 4 Marvel superheroes. So it was outstanding. It's been a blast. The Cowboys will probably finish in, let's say, this is live too. I'm going to say 3rd place in the NFC East. I think the Giants and the Redskins will finish above them, but we'll be above the Eagles. 9-7. Please, 9-7, please. Come on, 8-8 was last year. Yes, he's phenomenal. Oh, man. Okay, so I never played Dungeons & Dragons in my entire life. Thought it was way, way, way too nerdy. Would never try it. And Matthew Mercer is our DM, and he is a DM extraordinaire because not only does he bring an iPad that he plays music, like during the different scenarios, but he enacts all of the different characters. And it's a table of voice actors. So we're all acting as our characters, and I'm a barbarian Goliath. And my intelligence is 4. So I could barely talk, right? So we're all like talking around and walking and like, yeah, I would like to get a cask of ale and maybe some rabbit skin boots. And he comes in and he's like, so, you know, you enter an old tavern and there's an old barkeep behind the bar going, what can I get for you, son? And you're just like watching him, and he goes, and then an old, hooded, cloaked figure walks in, and he's like, my friends, I have a mission for you. You must find. He's doing accents, and he's fully embodying it, and with a couple drinks and snacks, you're just like, this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened. And it's great because Laura and Liam are twin elven brother and sister. And Sam Riegel plays a bardish gnome that sings for his attacks. So when he attacks people, he sings limericks. It's wacky. Yeah. Oh man, it's so good. He's my new favorite person in the entire world. Right. Troy made the mistake of having me be his best man, and God, I love the guy, but he just had to be tortured. We spent 6 weeks setting up a very complicated raid where we scheduled a fake video game session, a fake mocap session, with 3 actors, Brian Bloom, myself, and Troy in the same room. We hired 2 fake Russian clients to sit behind the glass and act like they were producing the game. They spoke no English. And then we hired 6 ATF stuntmen that were fully outfitted in movie replica, outfitted ATF gear, SWAT team, tac vest, elbows, knees, helmet, goggles, all these airsoft weapons that had laser sights. And about 10 minutes into the session, the stunt guy threw in a flashbang, told everybody in the producer's booth to get down. He freezes, and then 6 guys poured into their room and had us all at gunpoint. They're like, get on the ground! Get on the ground! Shut up! And he's like, goes straight down. We put a bag over his head, put earmuffs on, and then lead him out to a van where we threw him in the back of a van and drove down like a 1.5-mile stretch of road that had 20 speed bumps at like 50 miles an hour. So he's just going boom, 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 boom. His hands are zip tied behind his back. And it was a 7-minute car ride, but because you take away like the sensory perception, he said he thought it was like 45 minutes, and he thought he was like somewhere in between San Diego and Los Angeles. Like he thought he was at some black bag base where they were gonna like torture him. We opened the door, and I had a Vice Squad LAPD officer was helping us out, and he starts interrogating him with the bag on. He's like, "Tell me your name. Tell me your name." And Troy's saying nothing. He's just sitting there with the bag on his head, and I'm like, "Oh God, he's dead. He's dead, or he's had a stroke, or he's gone vegetable comatose." And after about 10 seconds, he's like, "You do that thing where you watch too much TV and they don't tell me your name. Tell me your name." And you hear Troy go, "Troy." And he goes, "Troy what?" And he goes, "Baker." Like trying to muster some courage. And he goes, "Do you know why you're being detained, Troy Baker?" And he goes, "No." I'm like, "Take it off." So he takes his hood off and he looks up and we're all like, "Ah!" He's like, "You." You know, you have to like bleep the whole thing, but it was phenomenal. It was the best weekend ever. And then we took him to Lake Mead and had a houseboat and the whole thing.
Awesome. And now, is there any way fans can keep up with you on the internet? I know you have a great Twitter.
I do.
And any other outlet that you want fans to know about?
It's crazy. For like 2 years ago, I was the biggest Twitter hater in the world. I was like, it's so stupid. I don't understand the point. I'm not going to have a Twitter. And now it's pretty much the only thing that I use. I'm not on Facebook at all. I'll check it for like 20 minutes just to see what a bunch of people from high school that I don't even really talk to anymore have said. I never reply. I'm kind of absent. I have a website that hasn't been updated since May of last year. I really need to do that. It's traviswillingham.com, but there is an email link where you can write a message and it sends to me, and I promise I see it. If I ignore it, that's probably on purpose. But sometimes I do if I have the time. That's a good way to get in touch with me. Twitter is also very good at WillingBlam. At WillingBlam. That's Sam Riegel you can thank for that, because we were literally having bourbon, and he was like, "Just do at Willingham," and somebody already took it. And he goes, "What about WillingBlam?" I'm like, "That sounds ridiculous. I'll take it." So it's at WillingBlam, and that's probably the second best way to get a hold of me.
Awesome. And now, are there any upcoming projects you want fans to know about that you can talk about? And a message for all your wonderful fans that are out there.
Yes, video games are something that we are very excited about at the moment, besides our original animation. Troy Baker, Laura, and I are all working on Infamous Second Son, which isn't a PS4 launch title, but it's a PS4 launch window. It'll be out in February. Very excited about that. Josh Keaton, Laura Bailey again, Matthew Mercer, and I are also in a game called Knack that Sony is making for the PS4. That'll be out. I think that is a launch title. Yes, it is. What other ones am I allowed to talk about? There's a mocap game called Murdered that's with Airtight Games. It'll be coming out in the spring. And I have to think. What am I allowed to talk about? There are a lot of NDAs in our life. You know what? We'll just do that. And I would like to say thank you to all the fans for following up on all of our stuff. We love it. Anyone that is an anime fan, video game fan, original animation fan, whatever it is, if you're a comic book nerd just like us, we're so thankful. You guys have been fantastic. Every time we do these events, we feel so welcome. So thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Chuck Herbert. Thanks for coming. Travis.
Knee to the gut. Elbow to the face. Although you did call me Chuck Huber, so that's kind of a compliment.
Thank you, Travis, for coming out and talking with us here at AnimeLocation.tv. Thank you so much.